This final video of this elapsed time series is mostly for people who are doing the square level work, or if you are a triangle or even a circle and you just want a little bit of extra learning, here's your place to be able to do that. Again, the things in this video are not things that you have to be able to do in third grade. This is kind of taking you to the next level with a couple of additional elapsed time problems. So the first type of problem I want to show you, I'm just going to give you one example, and I think you can probably take them and apply this to examples that you might see. If you were given a problem, let's say something like, something like 4:26 as your start time and 4:53 as your end time. So at first glance, again, this doesn't look all that different than other problems that you've done. And you may be using other strategies. I know some people like to use addition and subtraction with time, which is an okay method as well. Just be aware that if you do that, just kind of keep in mind that you're that 60 is your total. 60 is 1 hour, so be careful. You don't want to be using hundreds when you're adding and subtracting. But I'm going to stick to the method I've been showing you. And what's different about this particular problem, so our start time is 4:26. And what I would typically encourage you to do, instead of trying to count fives from here, if I try to count by fives, I've got 4:26, then that's a weird number to count five onto. So instead, I would encourage you to start with stones to get yourself to an easy to work with time. And I'm going to go ahead and put my end time over here because I didn't do that to begin with. Sorry about that. So again, I'm going to just kind of use my stones here. I'm going to count 4:26, 4:27, 4:28, 4:29, 4:30. And once I'm at that point, then it's easy to go ahead and do just like what we learned earlier. And I would do 4:30 to 4:35 to 4:40 to 4:45 to 4:50, and then 51, 52, 53, and I landed right where I wanted to be. Now when I count my time, I'm going to count my hills first. So I'm going to count 5, 10, 15, 20. Let me change colors so we can see easier. Now I'm going to go ahead and count my stones from here. So we're at 20 minutes, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. So our answer to this particular problem would be 27 minutes. So again, the key thing I want you to see here is when we have a time that starts where it's not one of our easy count by five type numbers, 5, 10, 15, 20, so on. We want to use those stones first to get to that type of a number. The other thing I want to show you real quick is we've been looking at problems where we used hills and stones to travel along our number line. I'm going to show you another strategy here. And again, this would apply for either type of problem. I'm just going to do one type of problem for right now, but it would apply. You could use it in either kind of problem that we've learned so far. I'm going to go ahead and do the same type of problem I just showed you in that last one. So let's try something like, we'll do 8:20, and our end time we're going to do is 11:33. So what you probably noticed right there, the difference, we're starting at an hour of 8 o'clock and our ending time is an hour of 11 o'clock. So it's a pretty big difference, but it's a very small change into what we're going to do. So same beginning, we're starting at 8:20. We know our target ending time is 11:33. Now, just like we saw in the very first video, we could move along this number line in 5-minute increments like we've learned, but that would take us a very long time. So instead, we're going to go ahead, when we have a big difference in times like that, we're going to add another type of movement onto our number line. I'm going to call those mountains. When we make mountains, we're going to make a peak at the top to make it nice and easy to see the difference between a mountain and a hill. So when we jump ahead 1 hour, so we're going to use that mountain to represent 1 hour. So again, this is 8:20. When we move ahead 1 hour, we're landing at 9:20. Another hour would take us to 10:20. Another mountain, another hour takes us to 11:20. And we would use the same thinking here. Another hour, which would be another mountain, would take us to 12:20, which is too far. So once we reach the maximum number of mountains, then we'll just switch just like we had been doing earlier in the videos prior, and we would go ahead and move, oops, you guys know me, I can't talk and write at the same time. Let me get rid of that 33. So this time right here is actually 11:20, and then we would go ahead and move from here in our 5-minute increments. So 11:25, 11:30. Again, we're at the point where we can't use any more hills, so now we would go with stones. So 31, 32, and 33. So our ending time right there would be 11:33. I would count the time very similar to before, but this time we're counting hours first. So we've got 1, 2, 3 hours. Then we would count our minutes, which would be 5, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Now, probably the most common mistake people will make in this type of problem is how you're going to write this. So to write this answer, and there's not an easy place to do this, so let me clear some space so I can make sure I show you correctly here. I'm going to just get rid of this work up here so we can see this. In order to write this the correct way, remember the question is, how long did this last? So we're going to want to write it like this. We would say it lasted, 3 hours and what did we have? 13 minutes. That would be the correct response to this type of problem. Please avoid writing. If you were to write this, that is not correct because that says 3:13. That's a time. That is not a length of time. That is actually a time you would read on the clock. So that is kind of 2 pieces of information that takes you to the next level that you might want for some of those square type problems, along with other things that we have seen in the previous videos. If you have questions, of course, always feel free to message me or email me, and hopefully that helps.